Succulent plants thrive well in dry and sunny locations. Succulents are plants that store water in either their leaves, roots, stems, or a combination of these parts. For most plants, water is critical to their survival. Succulents, on the other hand, can survive prolonged periods of dry spells. These plants are good at surviving in locations where the availability of water is limited. Although storing water is their greatest asset, which allows them to survive in challenging locations, that same strong point is also their main weakness. Their ability to store water can also put their lives at risk in situations where water is abundant, such as in places where it frequently rains. Too much water causes their storage cells to rupture, and when this happens, their stored moisture seeps around the surrounding tissues, leading to mushy leaves. Too much absorbed water can also cause their cells to burst. Some leaves may crack or may develop leaf blistering. The outer leaf cover, called cuticle, is their first line of defense. Once that is broken, the plant becomes vulnerable to diseases like fungal infections. Not to mention the ugly scars that can result from those cracks and blisters. Succulents love water. They love rainwater. They love to sip and keep a lot of water, but too much of it can cause them harm. If your succulents are dehydrated or you are using a medium that does not hold a lot of water, you do not need to worry when it rains. Also, for matured and rooted succulents, heavy rain is not a big problem because their root system is already well established and they also have bigger trunks or have a lot of leaves for storage. But for tiny ones or those recently planted cuttings, this will surely mean their destruction due to too much water or root rot if the soil remains wet for too long. This same lethal consequence will apply to succulents that got too much rain and those that you have overwatered yourself. So, how do you save these precious plants? The best way to save them is to uproot. This will take some time, depending on how many you have to save. Be gentle when you take them out from their pot or container. Use a chopstick or a long tweezer to gently pull your plants out. This is the perfect time to use my green succulent tweezers. It can gently pull out individual succulents without damaging any more leaves or their neighboring plant. Also, make sure that you shake off the clumped, waterlogged dirt clinging to the roots. The idea is to separate the roots from as much wet dirt as you can, to stop them from absorbing any more water. In some cases, where it's challenging to shake off the wet dirt, rinse them in clean water only long enough to loosen the waterlogged soil. Just be gentle when you swish them out in the water. You do not want to break any more stems or leaves, and you also do not want to lose any babies that are sprouting. If you do have some leaves that have fallen off or broken off, guess what? You can always propagate them. Leaf propagation is another exciting way to grow more succulents. If you want to know more about it, I have a separate video about leaf propagation. I will leave a link in the description below. Once this process is all done, air dry your succulents first for a day or two before you repot them. Or you can repot them right away, just make sure you're using a dry soil mixture when doing so. After repotting, do not water them for at least a week or two or even longer. They can survive for a while using the water they have already absorbed. Repotting them at this point is also the perfect time to check and clean your succulents. Take out any dry leaves or those that look really bloated or those showing root rot. You can repot them the same way in the same pot, or you can be creative again and do a totally different arrangement. You can also use this opportunity to see which ones you can pair off better based on their water requirements. What happens to all the wet soil mixture you just saved your succulents from? Don't throw them away. You can still use them later on. You can collect the waterlogged soil or dirt in a wide, shallow pan, or just keep them in one area where they can dry under the sun. Once dry, you can use them again, or you can amend them as you see fit. As for your newly repotted plants, treat them like you would the first time you planted them. Put them under a bright area, but not under full sun. I hope you learned something useful today,